said, changing the codes, changing any kind of structure that would help homeowners when and if they build and buy in those areas. But like I said, I'm a little bit leery, and you have to be careful. Again, I don't want it to become another Big Brother thing where the government now is going to take away or make you or not make you do something. I mean, again, I'm not saying not to help people, but we take risk when we buy property, as I know I have many homes before in the past, and we can't wrap everybody in a bubble wrap either. We can be transparent, give them information, let them have the choice, let them understand what they're getting into. And again, absolutely, we're a wealthy country, we're a wealthy state, we have to help our citizens also. So I'm not saying not to help if there's damages or certain things, but it's a balancing act. We'll be very careful. It's a slippery slope if we start, again, having government mandate, where you can live and how you're going to live, and et cetera, et cetera. So that's my take on it.
Thank you. Mr. Eustace.
Thank you. As the mayor of Maywood, I got to go to other people's towns and help them out during these flood situations. Rochelle Park and Lodi had terrible flooding conditions. We were very lucky in that only a few homes in Maywood were affected by the flooding. But it gave me a sensitization about what needed to be done if I ever did get into the legislature. What we've done is created a bi-state river commission because these rivers don't start in New Jersey. These rivers, the head of the river is up in New York State. So we've empaneled people to be able to sit down and help us figure out how to solve this problem. You can't solve it in Rochelle Park, you can't solve it in Lodi, you have to solve it along the distance of the river. So we've moved to have those meetings. The other thing we've done is try and charge our local municipalities, as Senator Magana said, and our county agencies to help us out. I run along the Saddle River and used to have to call the county or the Mosquito Commission or the Passaic Valley Water Authority to tell them to come de-snag the river because the flooding problem is often caused by snags and pileups at bridges. And I no longer need to do that because now they have a regular program where they're in the rivers cleaning them out because they know I'm a pain in the butt when it comes to cleaning out these rivers. And it has mitigated the flooding to a certain extent because once you get that junk out of the river, you don't get the backups. So we've actually actively involved local agencies to do their due diligence. And as Joe said, we've relaxed the rules so that municipalities can get in and clear some of their tributaries, which will help with the backing up as well. The other thing is, what I learned as the mayor of Maywood is to update our maps, our FEMA maps, our flooding maps, would cost our municipality $80,000. So multiply that by each municipality, and you're talking about a lot of money that's a burden on the taxpayer. So we created legislation that would allow the new federal maps to be incorporated into the local maps rather than doing the redundancy of recreating these engineering studies that had already been done. We've moved forward, we have great legislation that makes sure our towns are better taken care of for future flooding problems.
Well, thank you. This is going to be our last question. You had some very good questions, by the way, but this has got to be our last one. So I'm going to start with you, Mr. Eustace. Do you think the state should fund family planning services such as those provided by Planned Parenthood?
Absolutely, without a doubt. Many of our citizens only see a women's health care provider through these services. It is a crime what they've done about Planned Parenthood. Many people fall through the cracks. If you get rid of Planned Parenthood, we are going to have many more women not taken care of, children not taken care of, and health problems escalate.
Thank you. Mr. Coppola.
Yes, we know for a fact that Planned Parenthood provides contraception and healthcare services is the majority of what they do. It's not abortion. But we have to be careful on how we fund them. I would ask for more transparency. As you all know, it's been going on in the news with Planned Parenthood. So I would want more transparency as to see what goes where, because it is our tax dollars. It is us, collectively. No matter where you stand on issues, we are funding that. It's not the state or the government, but it's us. And we all get a say in that. So I would be very interested to let people know what's happening, what's going on. It seems of late, we're kept in the dark about that. So we have to, of course, we want to take care of our citizens, our mothers, our sisters, our neighbors. But again, I would ask for some more transparency. I would like to see where every dollar goes and what it's going to, and how is it being spent. And you know what I'm talking about because of late in the news with the controversy with Planned Parenthood. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you. Mr. Logano.
Yes, I absolutely believe we should be funding women's services. As in my 2 years that I've been there, we've put the money in the budget, which has been $7 million, which has been cut out by the governor. And just so everyone knows, it's a 10-to-1 matching ratio by the federal government. So we've given up a lot of money in federal matching dollars for women's health care services. Now, it's not only Planned Parenthood, there are other women's service centers, but nationwide it serves 2.7 million people, 80% of them falling below the poverty line. So it is a need. Despite what anybody hears on the news, taxpayer funds are used for abortions. Only 3% of what Planned Parenthood does is actually goes abortion procedures. 97% is not. Breast exams, cancer screening, pap smears for women, sexual education, contraception. The women going there need this help, and I think it's imperative that the federal government, as well as the state of New Jersey, continues to fund that. And I will say that the whole fiasco is really, it's unfortunate, but a lot of it has been contrived. And what Planned Parenthood has done is that it, through federal law signed by George Bush, is permitted to donate fetal tissue for research, and only receives reimbursement for expenses. So it's a federal law signed by a Republican president that is meant for research. So I understand that some people may not believe in it, they may fall back on their religious beliefs. However, it is an essential service to the people of this country and to New Jersey, and I will always continue to support it.
Well, thank you. And I really want to thank you again for your questions because they were very good and it gave them an opportunity to respond to you and address the issues before them. Pardon me?
Can I ask a question to the moderator?
No. I'm sorry. Not at this point. No.
I thought it was
No.
the moderator to call candidates on the slides.
No. No.
Okay.
So,
Thank you, satisfied with that.
thank you.
That's fine.
What we're going to do is we're going to move to the closing statements for each of the candidates at this point. And we'll go in the reverse order. The closing statements will be for 2 minutes. And we are going to first hear from Joseph Logano.
Thank you. I just again want to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting the event and everyone who participated. I think it's very important that people get to come here and listen to us and ask us questions and decide if they like us or not and decide if they like our answers. It's been a great pleasure of mine to serve as an elected official, as a councilman in Paramus, where I served as the budget chairman and a labor negotiator. I was able to negotiate as a councilman 5 open contracts that were good for the residents of New Jersey as well as the employees. I held the line on taxes when I was a councilman in Paramus. I saw Paramus' bond rating be elevated at the time that I was there by Moody's, which is unprecedented in the state. And just recently, Paramus' bond rating was upgraded to AAA, which is again unprecedented and falls within the small category of municipalities in the state of New Jersey. And I was proud to be part of that team, and am very proud that it continued after me. I've couched myself as a person who is fiscally responsible. However, I do consider myself to be a progressive person when it comes to many social issues. I've taken a position that our businesses need a lot of help, and I think you can see that from our legislation. I've seen that our taxes are a crushing burden, and that's why we've supported putting more money into school funding formulas, giving more municipal aid to municipalities, and that's why I sponsored the estate inheritance tax bill. That's why I sponsored the bill bringing Dayton buses into New Jersey. An issue which we didn't talk about is a terrible heroin epidemic prescription drug epidemic that's happening right now in all our municipalities. I'm proud to say that my prescription drug monitoring program was signed by the governor, which is a great program that's going to help people really stop prescription drug abuse in its tracks by stopping Pill Mills and unscrupulous doctors. So I thank you to everyone for coming and listening to us tonight.
Thank you. And the next speaker is Timothy Eustace.
Thank you very much, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here this evening. It has been a rare privilege to be able to serve in the legislature. It's unusual that someone like myself had very poor roots, grew up here in New Jersey, in the mountains of New Jersey, and get the honor of serving as one of only 2 gay legislators in New Jersey. Our sons are African American. We have a very diverse household, I'm proud to say. I've been a businessman, as I said, for 30 years, was a former mayor of Maywood. And the overarching theme about that is how we go about paying for our responsibilities. As the mayor of Maywood, we redid our downtown. Many people here in Paramus shop in Maywood. In fact, it's your downtown as well. We used federal dollars. I went to Washington and had our congressman help us do our downtown streetscapes program. We couldn't afford to do it without that. We brought federal dollars back to Maywood and did that downtown program with federal dollars. We put solar panels on the municipal building by me going to Washington and asking our congressman to put those solar panels on the building. Contrarily, once in the legislature, we had an opportunity to do our own healthcare exchange in the state of New Jersey. The governor refused to do a healthcare exchange. I think the toll was we lost $600 million in matching funds, money that would have helped all of us. The regional greenhouse gas initiative, the governor left the money on the table, hundreds of millions of dollars in federal funding just left on the table. We feel it's our responsibility to make sure we get that money back into the state of New Jersey. Planned Parenthood